Hey, this is Matt. Once again, welcome back to another video. This is a paid request for James. Thank you so much for that. For those interested in requesting any type of videos, movie reviews, re-reviews, random thought streams, commentaries, video game playthrough for an hour, full playthrough, whatever the case may be, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal. I do have a CashApp as well. Links are down below in the info box, and I will get to it as soon as I possibly can. And this is for the first off the year. I've seen 1990, I've seen 1991. IMDb says 1990 because it was in some festival in 1990, but then others say that it got a theatrical release in 1991. So I don't know what year to put, because I hate when they do that. Like in IMDb says 1990, but others places say 91. You know what? Screw it. I'm going to say 91. Because that's where it came out theatrically, like wide release. I know IMDb says 90, but in other places 90. I'm just going to put 91 for sake of argument. That's number one. Number two, I'm not a Shakespeare guy. I think it's plainly obvious. The one thing of Shakespeare I liked was Last Action Hero. To be or not to be. Oh, Claudius, you killed my father. Big mistake. That to me is the best thing with Shakespeare ever. Now, if I wish I could see that version of Hamlet. Jack Slater's Hamlet. I wish I could see that. But I know there was Kenneth Branagh's film. There was many, many interpretations of Hamlet. This is more of a streamlined version. What I mean by that is it's a little over 2 hours long. So they take a chunk of the subplots out of it. They definitely are much more focused on the lead character, Hamlet, which is played by Mel Gibson. And Mel, he wanted to do this, to do something a bit different. Because he was doing, he did The Road Warrior, he did films like Tequila Sunrise, Lethal Weapon 2. And I'm sure they were trying to get him to do Lethal Weapon 3, which he eventually did in 1992. But yeah, Mel Gibson is Prince Hamlet. Glenn Close plays his mom, which is a bit weird because they're only 9 years apart. And in the film, they look... I would have thought, it being his sister. Again, the way Glenn Close looks, it looks like Mel Gibson's sister, not his mom. And again, they're only 9 years apart, but yeah, it was weird. They got Glenn Close because she was in Fatal Attraction, she was in Jagged Edge. Those did well at the box office. But I'm like, again, really? Is she really the right choice to play his mom? Again, they look more like brother and sister, but hey, that's just me. Helena Bonham Carter, who would work with Tim Burton and be with Tim Burton quite a while, much later. Planet of the Apes, Sweeney Todd, etc. She plays Ophelia, who lights Hamlet, who's the daughter of Ian Holm, who's in the film. And then she goes bad. She goes bad. She goes crazy. Of course, Ian Holm, he's in the film, who worked for Hamlet, says the line, "To thine own self be true." Those were the only people I could recognize in the cast. And like I said, I'm not a fan of Shakespeare. The way that they talk, the way of the text is very flowery, poetry-like dialogue. I never gave a shit about that. I don't. I know that, well, if you don't, then you don't care about literature, and you must be intellectually subpar to No, I just don't care for the way people talk in that manner. It just annoys me. It just irritates the fuck out of me. Just tell me I'm an asshole without trying to put it to 18 different fucking words for it. I'm not fucking Thor, okay? I don't have Molnar with me, alright? I have a bottle, but ain't fucking Molnar, okay? Molnar's not a bottle, it's a hammer, but I can find a hammer, but it's not gonna be that. It's just like with that Leonardo DiCaprio film, Romeo and Juliet. Okay, it's interesting that it's done in like a modern style with the soundtrack, but it's still that dialogue and dialect that I don't care for. It doesn't interest me. So my mind just wanders off the reservation. And I just don't care. I don't care for that type of that dialogue that Shakespeare has in his text. I'm not into Shakespearean plays. I'm not into Shakespearean movies of that nature. It's not for me at all. I will give credit, and I mean, do I have to go into the plot of Hamlet? Maybe I do. Prince Hamlet of Denmark, his father has died. Pretty quickly, his mom, Glenn Close, marries this other guy. Hamlet is a bit kind of suspicious about that for how quick everything went. So, with that, I'm on other stuff, including the ghost of his dad saying that, yes, I got killed by somebody. No one can see him talking to his father, so they think he's going insane. But he knows something's amiss. There's a part where he sets up a play that's supposed to be mimicking the death of his father because he wants to see who'll react and who not. He thinks maybe his mom had something to do with it. Maybe the teen has something to do with it. At one point, he confronts his mom, and he thinks there's an intruder. He thinks there's someone ready to attack him because they're spying on him. Kills the guy, but it's Ian Holm. Ian Holm's daughter, Ophelia, liked Hamlet, and Hamlet, being pissed off with how his mom was and not trusting women, pretty much tells Ophelia, get the fuck out of here, fuck off, leave me alone. Get some dick from someone else. You need your pussy to not be wet anymore? Go find someone else to clean it up. Go find Tim Burton. But, since Helena Bonham Carter, you know, sure that happened a lot of times in real life. Anyway. Ian Holmes' son is pissed off. He wants revenge for the death of his father. Prince Hamlet is wondering now, did this guy kill my father? Eventually, at the end, they have a duel with a sword. Claudius has a sword, but it's got venom on it, poison on it. So even if you cut, you'll be poisoned, and there is no cure. But there's also this poison in this cup. Hamlet doesn't want to drink it. He's doing well with the sword. Glenn Close toasts. The team can't stop it. She drinks it, and then she eventually dies. Hamlet gets cut. Gets the sword away, stabs him. I guess Claudius knows the fix is up and all that. And pretty much tells what the deal is, that the teen is an asshole. He's a two-faced prick. The guy dies. Mel Gibson kills the teen. He dies in the arms of the guy that's going to tell his story. Rest is silence. The other guy goes, good night, sweet prince. Movie's over. Hamlet's dead. Mel Gibson, I thought, did a good job. Because, like, other people, they're much more dramatic. And very, some would say over the top, some would say hammy, some would say to be or not to be. That is the question. I knew him well, Horatio. Like much more bigger. Mel Gibson played it where he was saying these lines, but they seem more natural. To be or not to be, that's like he says, like when he's saying that, and he's in the crypt where his father's body's at. He's saying as a guy trying to figure out what's going on, and am I sane? Am I insane? What am I going to do next? Or the bit where Hamlet has the skull, instead of being poor Yorick. I knew one was like, this is Yorick. I knew him well. Like he more kind of like how someone would actually say the lines in real life. And you definitely buy the manic, angry insanity that it seems like Hamlet has at times. And I know critics thought he did a good job too, because he did. He did a pretty good, valiant job. The other people did fine. The costumes seemed like they fit the time period. It didn't seem like a big movie in terms of scope. Because I can't think of any scenes that were, wow, this is majestic. It's kind of inner workings of the castle, or maybe a little bit outside of a grave, or a little bit here inside the castle. They said there was no scenes that really, and maybe because it's also an abridged version, so you don't have a lot of the other characters and the build up or the setup or the payoffs of these other characters that fill the Hamlet tale. That, let's say, there's not really big, broad shots that really make you go, whoa. It just, this don't sound dumb, but it feels more like a direct-to-video movie. In terms of just, it didn't feel like there was a whole lot of locations other than inside or outside the castle. A few times where they're outside, or they're on top of the castle, or they're in the crypt near the castle. But I don't know how to put it. It didn't really feel like a grand scope and scale to it. But the costumes seemed very much of the period of the time. I think Mel Gibson did a good job. I mean, there's not much action if you're looking for that. There's just the little sword fight thing that Mel Gibson's character and Claudius have. I think his name is Claudius. I'm bad with names, so I might have gotten that name fucking completely wrong. But it's more kind of Hamlet just playing around at first and quick, easily dodging or doing this and kind of running around, being playful, being a bit cocky. So it's not like a big, huge sword fight, but it's just little bits of playfulness. At least on Mel Gibson's part. I don't know. I mean, maybe if you like Mel Gibson and you want an introduction to Hamlet, maybe this is the way to do it. And then if this tale intrigues you, you can watch or read Shakespeare or watch like Kenneth Branagh's version or others that show much more of the scope of it all. Because in 1996 there was a Hamlet film. Wasn't there one with yeah, I see it here. There is one with Ethan Hawke. I think I was getting the damn name wrong. I think Claudius is the king. So, what was the name of the guy that he was fighting? God damn it. I knew deep down, like, I'm getting that name wrong, ain't I? Laertes. Laertes. See, I knew I was getting it wrong because as I'm saying, I'm like, no, wait a minute. I'm getting that wrong. Yeah, so, yeah, Claudius was the teen, played by Alan Bates. That was the name of the teen. Yeah, Laertes is the guy who he has the sword fight with. So, again, apologies. I'm just horrible with names. Unless I write them down, I've always been horrible with names, so I don't know what it is. Again, unless I write them down. So yeah, Laertes is the guy with the sword fight. Claudius is the teen that he stabs and kills the teen at the end. But yeah, in 1996, you had one, which the cast of that was crazy because you had Kenneth Branagh, you had Kate Winslet, you had Robin Williams, Gerard Depardieu, oh no, Jack Lemmon, Billy Crystal, Charlton Heston, Richard Attenborough, Judi Dench. A lot of people in there. And then, yeah, in the 2001, which is a more modern take on it, where Hamlet is a film student, and you had Kyle MacLachlan, Sam Shepard, Liev Schreiber, Bill Murray, Steve Zahn, Jeffrey Wright, Paul Bartel. Jesus. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say other than I'm getting the fucking name wrong at the end. So yeah, the Laertes is the guy Hamlet was having the sword fight at the end. So there you go. I mean, this is one of those films that I remember back in the day. I'll tell a little bit of story to end this. So I'm sorry it's not much of a review, but it just stuff isn't my cup of tea. I don't really know what else to say other than repeating myself. Mel Gibson did a good job. I will say Mel Gibson did a fairly good job. Interesting, the score is Ennio Morricone, great composer who did John Carpenter's The Thing, The Man with No Name trilogy, among other scores. But I remember, and I wish I had these. Grew up in Iowa, but in order to get groceries, we had to go across the border to Minnesota, which might have been 20 miles away, give or take. It felt longer than it was to get there. And there's a regional grocery store chain called Hy-Vee. Hyvee. Now, whenever we would go there, we'd look, as a kid, look around while the parent, the mom, gets the food and stuff. So I just able to look around and I will look at the movies. I know we can't rent them because it's so far to go and so far to go back, but I would just look at the covers and just, yeah, it was a grocery store, but there was movies to rent. See, that's how big VHS was back in the day. It was everywhere. Every gas station, even if it was a town that you pass in 30 seconds, there's a gas station or a grocery store, it would have a VHS section to rent movies. And either it'd be like an empty VHS box with styrofoam in it, and then the VHS tape would be behind it, or it'd be, I don't have them, but like a little plastic sleeve that would have the cover of the film that you would take up, give you the VHS tape, and it wouldn't be on the wall. That way nobody gets in and tries to get a movie that's not there. But they would also have these little pamphlets So the movies are coming out this month, or movies are out this month, or the hot picks. And I wish I had these because I would collect them. But then stupidly, like I try to cut them out and put them like a book, a scrapbook. Then I lost the fucking scrapbook like years later. All that is because I remember seeing this picture and knowing Mel Gibson from Lethal Weapon, mainly Lethal Weapon and Lethal Weapon 2, and kind of looking and going, okay, like he's got a sword, and I like the look with the beard. It is kind of like me with the beard. Now that I think about it, but even back then, I knew that I wasn't a Hamlet type of guy. So I never had the urge to see it, although I do like Mel Gibson. I still like Mel Gibson. Yes, he screwed up. He's apologized. You know, what more can he do? Don't condone what he said, but he apologized. He admitted he was wrong. He was drunk. He said, I know that's no excuse, but I apologize. He's done whatever he can to do better, at least in my eyes. And I liked him. I liked him as an actor. I liked him as a director. Hacksaw Ridge is good. Braveheart. Loved the Lethal Weapon films. The Road Warrior. I even liked Maverick. I liked Conspiracy Theory. We Were Soldiers was pretty good. Get the Gringo was fun. I even liked that one he did. I forget what it's called. On the Line. The one where he was the radio host. And then there's like this murder conspiracy. I forget what it was called. It came out a few years ago. I liked that one. A lot of people didn't, but I liked it. But yeah, I like Mel Gibson. So at the very least, I was able to see his performance, and finally, that image of seeing that picture and that Hy-Vee flyer, which had, little, not a flyer, but it's like a little booklet. It was a booklet. There's a flyer made it seem like it was one thing. No, it was like 10, 11 like little pages you could get for free, take with you. I do remember that, and now, off the checklist. Now, I know what it's like. I know what happens to it. I have a review of it up now, so now I guess that's something that I never thought needed to be cleared out of the basement, and now it is. So thanks to James for that. So thank you guys. Take care, everyone, and we will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye for now.